We had really, it was like a 3 or 4 month partnership. That was it. It was over by the end of March in 92.
Yeah.
It was it.
Yeah.
And that was crazy because then you started your own radio show, GBB, which, we had left to go to EVD, and then our fans, our individual fan bases were always attacking the other one. And
Mm.
I think we met at a show. It was a bus trip or something. We both did buses to a show, and one bus was screaming Russo sucks, and the other bus was Arezzi sucks. I mean, it was just kind of this crazy little war between us that was, for us it was very serious, but in the grand scheme of things, it really wasn't. But I want to have Donnie jump in, or Bob. I mean, do you guys remember any of this stuff from back then between Vince and I?
Sure. I mean, I was listening to it. You and I were talking about it. I could tell you when the newsletter, when you put those out, it was exciting because I always looked forward to seeing what artwork was on the cover. I thought that was done so, especially the first one, that was really exciting. And the idea that you were on EVD, I mean, I remember that as a kid as WHN. I mean, it was like 50,000 watts. And I think I went to one show with you there, John. And I just thought that was amazing, that the amount of audience who might be listening to that was amazing. And of course the bus trips and everything, as you said, trying to make a living on that. I mean, I knew firsthand what you were doing, and it was difficult for you personally and whatnot. But and then when Vince went over to WWF and I see him doing the magazine, I go, oh my gosh. I mean, I remember him just recently, doing stuff with John, and now he's doing the magazine there and everything. It's really how ironic how things turned out, where Vince didn't really start out to, he was a fan, and next thing you know, he's landed working in Connecticut. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, John, you mentioned, and you probably don't even know this part of it either, but you mentioned, WGBB. So when you and I had to split, you stayed on WEVD. Okay, John, I was in the same situation of I needed a job. So like I had to make something happen for myself. And bro, I'll never forget, my video stores are going out of business. It's really just a matter of time. So, John, every single week I'm paying WGBB $500. And my wife is like, are you crazy? Are you not? We don't have the 500. We can't even pay our bills. But I kept trying to explain to her I was making an investment in a future job. That was the whole idea. So I was paying GBB $500 a week that I did not have. And then, John, what happened as a shoot was I was totally out of money. I could not put another show on WGBB. And that's when I sat down and I wrote a letter to Linda McMahon. And I just shot with her. I'm like, Mrs. McMahon, my name is Vince Russo. This is what I do. Would love to work. I had no idea she ran the magazine. Like, no idea. The reason why I wrote to Linda was, bro, Vince is getting 50 million pieces. Nobody's writing to Linda. So I wrote to Linda. I had no idea. And I just basically said, this is what I've been doing. I'm out of money. Like, I'm just looking for an opportunity. And, bro, I have to say, I was absolutely shocked when I got a call from, I think it was Liz DeFabio at that. I think that was her assistant's name. And Linda called. And, she hooked me up with the editor of the magazine at that time was a guy by the name of Ed Raschuti. And Ed Raschuti would give me a couple of stories a month for like $150 a story. That's how I got started. And I was there for about 3 months or so when Ed got fired. And I interviewed for the job, and the rest is history. But yeah, bro, I continued doing what I did because I needed to parlay that into some kind of a job to support my family.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing story. I mean, because then you turned the magazine edgier, more kind of realistic. And wasn't the story like Vince McMahon, slammed the magazine down in one of the creative meetings and saying, "This is what our TV should look like."
Yeah, bro. I got called up to the principal's office, and we just came off the worst show perhaps in the history of Raw, and I got a call first thing in the morning to go up into his office. And John, I swear to you, I thought I was going up there to be fired because I really thought he had to make an example out of somebody, and the company was doing terrible. And literally, as I'm in the elevator from the 2nd floor to the 4th floor, I'm thinking about what am I going to do next for work? That's what I'm really thinking of. So it's funny, man, when I finally go to his office, I walk in, bro, sitting around his table is JR, Shane, Bruce, Cornette, Patterson. So now in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's going to make an example of me in front of everybody. Like in my mind, I'm gone. Like it's over. And I'm just kind of in the let's get this over with mode. And that's when he literally took the Raw magazine, threw it on the table and said, "This is what our TV show needs to be." I was the most shocked one in the room because I thought I was going up there to be fired.
And look what happened after that. I mean, a lot of years have passed, and of course people have their opinions, but you know what? I mean, you were there, and you were responsible in a lot of ways of changing the face of wrestling back in the late 90s.
So, well, John, it was a
team effort, of course, but
it was, and it was very simple because the problem was, and I say this all the time, it wasn't rocket science. At that time, this is about like 1996 or something, bro. They were still doing 1980s wrestling. We just had to bring the product up to speed. We had to start mirroring what was happening in 1996. I don't think Vince was capable of doing that because Vince McMahon is just in that wrestling bubble, and what goes on outside the bubble he's not really in tune to. So like one of the first things I just said to him was, Vince, we have to bring this product up to speed. This product has to mirror what is happening now. That was simple, John. I mean, I think 1,000 people could have given Vince McMahon that advice.
But he listened to you.
Well, because I was the crazy New Yorker who wasn't afraid to tell him what I thought,
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Vince. A lot of people are afraid to tell him or just try to implement ideas that they know that he may not embrace initially. He's a presence. He's Vince McMahon. Yeah. So you had a lot of cojones, as they say in Italian.